Today's discussion is about drabbles. The definition of a drabble is...
According to Wikipedia, a drabble is an extremely short work of fiction of exactly 100 words in length, not necessarily including the title. The purpose of the drabble is brevity, testing the author's ability to express interesting and meaningful ideas in an extremely confined space.
See, the thing is, though, I've also seen the word drabble used for extremely short works up to maybe 300 words, which are not necessarily exactly 100 words in length.
Yeah, I mean, I use the word drabbles a lot because I write fan fiction. It's a thing. And when someone just has little blurbs of a story but doesn't want to write an entire thing, they'll just say, this is a story of drabbles. That doesn't necessarily mean that there are 100 words or less. Usually, it's like someone just writes a paragraph, and that's it.
Yeah, I think by the time you get up to around 500 words, it's usually marketed as a ficlet.
I say ficlet used a lot, but usually people will say that for a one-shot story. Because this is how I come across this stuff on the internet. I don't normally... I've never come across someone saying ficlets or drabbles, like, in a formal educational setting, like school.
Even though apparently... Wait, when did it arise? Because I think it came to be in a more professional context.
It says it was originated in the 1980s in UK science fiction fandom.
Oh,
That's sci-fi.
where's that then?
There we go, fan fiction. It made its own genre. Again.
How many times is that now?
A lot? I mean, fan fiction itself is a genre.
Anyway, so, have any of you attempted to write a drabble before?
Yes.
Sort of. Kind of.
Jesse, you didn't know what a drabble was until we started this discussion.
It's true, I didn't. I'd never heard that word before, actually.
Yeah,
But I don't read any fan fiction to speak
He's
of.
educated.
Yeah, I've actually written quite a few drabbles. I did a whole story that was 13 drabbles in a row.
Does anyone else hear that screaming baby?
Yep.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
got a screaming baby audience?
we decided we're not going to ignore background noises for the sake of... Because that's just
So,
awkward.
Because I have a really old version of iTunes. I don't think I can edit that out. iMovie. Old version
So,
of iMovie.
Allie!
Yes!
So, Allie, what do you think is the hardest part about writing a drabble?
I have to come up with my idea first. What am I going to talk about? And am I going to try and create a story? In which case, I try and write a story in a sentence, and then I just cut words out with a scalpel of editing. Or I'll try and talk about something abstract, like music, or I'll do a mini rant. So I just think to myself, well, 100 words is a lot more, it's a lot longer than you will initially think. So I usually will just be like, open up a Word document, turn on my word counter, and just be like, I'm going to write until it says I have 100 words. Because, just a normal paragraph that someone speaks is about 100 words.
I would think that the hardest part would be sticking to the exact word count, but it turns out that that's actually, for the most part, that's not so much of a problem.
Yeah, since it's so short, you have to keep moving. You can't use passive voice. Or you can, it's just harder to keep it
And you
interesting.
can't slather on too many adjectives, like I'm very fond of doing. Like the series of drabbles that I recently wrote was about the relationship between this character and a bunch of other characters.
Are you guys having conversations on the screen?
We're writing drabble.
Oh.
We're also listening.
Okay.
So,
You're going to have to read that at the end,
We'll see what happens.
so the hardest part for me was trying to come up with something that would conceptualize that relationship and then get that out in only 100 words instead of having an entire really long story in which I can talk about how they do this and that together. Instead, I had to think of like one situation where they could interact, and that would show what their relationship was like.
Mhm.
So Jesse and Bree, would you ever try to write a drabble?
Yes.
Potentially.
So, what do you think would be the hardest part?
Active verbs. I'm a heavy user of passive verbs. I've been yelled at by many teachers for that. So I think for me, keeping that active voice would be hard. I have a lot of stuff in my mind, topics, but perhaps it's the format that will be
There are a lot of contests for this.
issues. Yes.
The 50-word fiction competition, 50-word stories.
There's a place called Drabbler, like Tumblr, but for drabbles you can self-publish. So on Wikipedia.
Awesome.
What about you, Jesse? Would you write any?
The light it burns.
I mean, I would definitely try writing drabble. Sounds like it might be fun.
Yeah, here's a drabble. It's by Shark Trager, The Visitor. I didn't believe in time travel until I met myself one rainy Tuesday, back from a world unknown to me. Despite the shock, we drank tea and laughed about our mother. For a few moments, I was happy with myself, until I told me not to look forward too much.
Oh, that's good.
That's good.
See? No passive voice. No passive voice.
Yeah, and travels are really a part of this whole category of restricted or restrained writing, like the thing where you write a story and goodness, I forget what it's called, but the first word has to be three letters long, the second one has to be 1 letter long, the next one has to be 4 letters long, and so on for all the digits of pi.
Wow!
That's cool.
I don't think
Somebody
there are that many
actually wrote,
9-letter.
like, a novel or novella in that entire style.
Wow.
It's very difficult. I've tried it before. It's very difficult.
Wasn't the Great
But, and
Gatsby?
also, for example,
I don't
those
know.
novels which are written without the letter E or whatever
Mm-hmm.
is the most common letter in that language. These are all in the whole umbrella of restricted writing, which does give you a really good challenge if you want to try something new.
So it seems that when we're discussing drabbles, we're really just discussing concise and strange writing styles.
But do we agree that a basic definition of a drabble is 100 words in length?
Well,
I think
When you
that's
say
fair.
drabble, you
reasonable.
think 100 words.
100 words.
Okay.
I guess it's the end then.